Hey everyone, today we're going to make gazpacho, this fantastic tomato-based soup from Spain. Speaking of tomatoes, we've got a couple great varieties here. We've got these little sweet 100s, just snap off a little stem, pop them in your mouth. They're delicious. We've got some beautiful heirloom tomatoes. We've got some green zebra, we've got some orange tomatoes, and we've got some nice red beefsteaks. Another part of our base, Kirby cucumbers. These are often used in pickles, but today they're going to make a wonderful, wonderful soup. Last part of the base, great Spanish peppers. These come in either red or green. Either one's fine. We're going to season this soup with some fresh lime juice, with some aged sherry wine vinegar, with an estate bottled Italian olive oil. We're going to give a little bit of zip with some garlic and some shallots. And last but not least, we're going to use some smoked Spanish paprika. This is great stuff. We've got a sweet one and a hot one. We're going to use both of them in today's soup. We're also, of course, going to add a little salt and some freshly ground black pepper. First thing we need to do is chop up our tomatoes. So the great thing about tomatoes at this time of year, it's really our last chance to have good tomatoes. You know, we're right at the end of the season, a last little goodbye to summer. So we've got 3 different types of tomatoes here. You can make this soup with just one type of tomato, but with it being the end of tomato season, and we're not going to see them again until next summer, I'd like to try to get a few different varieties in there. All right, so next, the Kirby cucumbers. We're just going to slice quickly, but roughly. I'm not worried about being precise, because it's going to go in a blender. So I've got the Spanish red pepper. Again, just roughly cut it up and into the blender. Clove of garlic, give it a gentle whack. So next we need a shallot. And just a nice rough chop, nothing fancy. It's all just going to go in the blender anyway. All right, so we have our base here. We're ready to start adding our olive oil and blending this baby up. So I got some nice organic olive oil from Fairway. I'm going to add a couple glugs of that. That should be fine. Next I'm going to add some sherry wine vinegar. This is that aged sherry wine vinegar. Now I also have another acidic component. I've got the lime. Now my blender lacks a lid, so I'm just going to cover it with a towel. Now it's time to start seasoning it. So I'm going to start with some kosher salt, a couple pinches, and some freshly ground black pepper. All right, and then our next thing, we have our sweet Spanish paprika, maybe half a teaspoon of the hot. So my last consideration is that gazpacho is a cold soup. So I'm going to chill this down for a few hours, and then I need to taste it again just to make sure that all those flavors are still in balance. It's the last taste of summer.